Wilson Miles from Black Film and TV. Hello, folks. How's it going?
What's going on, man? Good. How you doing?
Season 3. We're finally here. It's been a minute for those who've been watching it on YouTube, and you have to play catch up now. I'm gonna start off with you, Terayle, because you're now a regular.
Yeah, man, it's
You got
crazy.
promoted up. So what are we getting now that you've stepped up?
On a personal level, there's a lot of gratitude being given. Hopefully that translates. I'm so grateful to be there with the entire cast and crew, but as a bigger piece to the equation, it's definitely a lot of fun. You're gonna get a whole lot more out of Marquise this season. I don't think I could say too much, but I'm just grateful to be here. I think that's the best way to put it. I'm just grateful to be here with everybody.
Mm-hmm. Terrence, obviously there's a lot with your character that, is still unsolved, and obviously there's a new audience that's going to be watching this on Starz and have to play catch up to see why is he like this? Why is he so moody? Same thing with Kendra's character. So talk to me about coming back and, being on pause with everything else to play this character again.
I'm just excited. Being able to tap into so many different storylines, like Rigo is getting pulled so many different ways. His heart is on stage, you know what I mean? But he does have a family. He does have a dad that he loves and stuff like that. He does have friends. He does have a girlfriend, and everybody's just playing such a big role in his life and stuff like that. So his struggle with trying to please everyone, thinking that it please himself, was a lot of fun to bring conflict to. So as someone who plays talent, I deal with that a lot. So it was so much fun.
Kendra, how about you? What are we getting season 3? Especially now, like I said before, we're getting a new audience. People have, for those who didn't catch it on YouTube and have to play catch up, can they watch this episode of season 3 without having to go back, or we have to play catch up?
I think you can definitely watch it without having to play catch up, which I do recommend that y'all go watch the show.
So it is on Starz Play.
The details, but the graphics did a great job with showing it where you can be a new audience and know what's going on. You're not super confused, but also you do wonder why are they like that? And that's when you can go back. But for the most part, you'll be able to watch it as a new audience and get to enjoy it as it's a brand new show. Like this is season 1, even though it's season 3.
Now, obviously, this show was shot during COVID. So did any of you have the challenges of getting back in shape, knowing you have to work with Jamaica? She's going to work you, and work you.
Listen, I failed to do that, but praise the Lord, because we're back now. Not prepared, but thankfully, Jamaica's been one of our, choreographers since the beginning. She's amazing. She inspires me all the time. So she's definitely just cool to work with, easy. She's honest and she's creative. She's saucy. So she was able to whip us back into shape, even if we weren't prepared.
What about you, Terrence? Were you good to go, ready to go? Especially episode 1. You're on stage. You're doing a lot.
Perfect. Like Kendra said it best. The process for how we prepare for these scenes is so good. They're really long, but they're fun. You know what I mean? Like everyone's drive and everyone's ethic with work is out of this world. So we all just want to have an amazing show. So Jamaica, Kiki, Marv, everyone, from the moment we walk in there, we're ready to work, and we were just excited to do it. So once we got to the stage, all we wanted to do is jump off the roof, hang from this, swing from that, and just make an amazing show. And I think it translates very, very, very well. I think our stage stuff is crazy. It's it's a blur for me. And that's how much fun I had.
How about you, Terayle? When you're getting more to do in the script, how prepared are you mentally? Because as an actor, sometimes when you're recurring, all right, you're just going to do your thing. But now when they say you're up and you're a regular and you're part of the crew now, you have more to do and you have to grow as an actor. How prepared were you?
Well, I mean, I wasn't prepared until I got to set, if you know what I mean. You don't really know what it's like to have that much work until you're looking at I got 11 pages today and then I got to come back tomorrow first up. I've never dealt with that before, but as far as getting mentally prepared, I've been preparing for that my whole career. I've been looking forward to the opportunity. So now that it's here, you know what I mean? That was a dream come true. on the other element of it, like getting ready for it physically and, you know, all the other stuff. I remember on March 13th when COVID actually hit, I had just landed in California, and Holly, shout out to Holly, she gave me a call and told me that they were considering making me a lead on the show, and that 9 times out of 10, you know, certain things will be taking place. So I spent the next like 8-9 months in my mama garage, like doing workouts because we didn't have no gym, and just trying to, you know, study as much as I could as an actor, kind of like preparing for whatever else could come. And, you know, by the grace of God, we saw it through. So, you know, season 3, we up.
When you're telling folks now that there's a show back on season 3, and we, you know, obviously since COVID, we've had a lot of streaming channels, we've had a lot of shows on different platforms, so the options of what to watch has exploded. You know, there's a lot. You know, and what do you think as you're talking to friends or strangers anywhere, as far as it's going to be that's going to have people step up season 3, or just step up, because in a way this is a new season for a lot of folks who didn't catch the previous 2. And as Kendra mentioned, you can get into this without having to see season 1 or 2. Is there anything that you think stands out that will separate it from the other shows that are on?
I think it's currently relatable. Like it's very, I relate to Rigo a lot, but when I watch the show, I relate to everyone's struggles. Like I love Sage. I love the thought of being a superstar. You know what I mean? I love Marquise because like I know a bunch of them. A lot of my friends are like that. You know what I mean? Kendra, just growing up around women, you know what I mean? Her role and stuff like that, being able to just look at each character and having interest in it, and to combine every element of the like culture that we have, you know, music, dance, acting, the ups, the downs, drama, love, all that stuff like that, all in one household like that. To me, it's got me glued, man, and it's so worth it.
Yeah,
can't wait to see. Go ahead, Kendra.
Oh no, you go ahead. I was gonna piggyback what he said about it being relatable. And just everyone goes through hardships in their life in general. So just having characters to bring that on screen and relate to those people with complicated relationships and all of that, I think that's what's going to stand out for sure.
That being said, let's talk again. Let's make season 4 happen. Let's get this audience riling it up. Season 3 is coming up. We'll talk down the road, folks.
Thank you.
Thank you
so much. Appreciate you, man.
Wilson Miles, Black Film and TV. Hello, folks. How's it going?
Good morning.
So, Jade, obviously you're back. You know, it's different this time, but you know, it's been some time since we last saw it. But it's going to be a whole new audience watching it because it's on Starz. You know, how do you feel as an actor knowing that, hey, it's a show that some people saw on YouTube, but then you're going to get a whole new fan base?
I'm excited. Honestly, I think this show is so good, and I've always had such a love and high hopes for it. So I think that this is just taking it to the level that it deserves, to give it to a new audience and see more eyes, and for people to fall in love with our characters. It's a very sexy, fast-paced, bold show, and I think people are going to love it. So I'm just excited that we get to elevate it on this new platform, and also elevate our storyline and make it a little bit more sexy and fiery. And so I'm excited to see what the audience thinks of it.
Rebbi, you're the new kid on the show. You know, you're the one who has mystery, you know, but you're also a dancer. So talk to me about coming onto the show and working with Jamaica to do the style that she wants as opposed to what you normally do, because it's always a learning curve when somebody has to do a new sort of dance.
I mean, as a professional dancer, you have to always be a blank canvas, right? And that way you can work with everyone. I've never got to work with Jamaica as a dancer, so this was like big for me. Like the dancer in me was like, finally, this is like a bucket list choreographer I've always wanted to work for, and it's never happened. So it was a huge honor to work with her, and not even just on the dance side, like she helped produce my character. So, you know, talking about, you know, my style and my isms and my look, as well as what they wanted to do with me movement wise. It was really cool working with Jamaica.
Mm-hmm. And then coming back, obviously, your character last year, you had or last season, you had a lot to deal with. What are we getting here now in season 3?
Odalie is definitely on a life adventure. She's kind of going through her midlife crisis of figuring out who she is and what she wants and what's for her. She doesn't have a big community behind her, so she's kind of on this self-discovery path of navigating this life while feeling kind of xed out by everybody else. So she's definitely going down a little bit, but when you go down, there's only room to go up from there. So she's definitely having some struggles this season, though.
How was it like filming during COVID? Obviously, everybody wants to get out of the house. Everybody, no more dancing on cameras. So like when you're all together, how long did it take before everybody got in sync as far as whether you work together on the scene or not and just making the same moves? Rebbi,
I wasn't there for the past 2 seasons, but I think like for such a huge project to work through the pandemic, we did great. We never got shut down. None of us got sick. Like none of us got COVID. Obviously, we practiced like wearing masks if we weren't filming and somewhat social distancing when it could be done. But, our characters are up close and personal, and none of that was compromised. It didn't feel like, oh gosh, we can't do this because we're in the middle of the pandemic. I think personally, it was really quite seamless, considering I'd heard of like so many shows like getting shut down, and it was kind of scary, because I thought, oh, is that going to happen to us? It had been a while since I'd been around like that many people during the pandemic, like for that amount of time, but we handled it like professionals. We were all very responsible, when we weren't filming. We stayed healthy, and yeah, we got it done. We got everything done.
And Jade, for you, obviously throughout this time, people have been watching you. How have you grown as an actress throughout the seasons that you've been filming this? Like every new episode is something different. Every new move is something different, but you have to say to yourself, okay, what am I learning from here? How am I growing? So that way you can take what you're doing on this show to other projects.
Right. I honestly think this show has made me a better actress. It's kind of like practicing and then you get to see it in real life. So seeing the previous seasons were big learning lessons for me. It made me want to elevate my acting, elevate my dancing, and hold it in new ways. And being able to see your work played back for you so that you can make it even better, it helps a lot because you're able to critique yourself and really look at yourself from an outsider's view rather than just being in it all the time. And being around such amazing actors also helps you grow as well. And having late Naya Rivera on our show, she really, really inspired me as an actress. She brought such professionalism and such ease to her character. And now having Christina play it, it's also having another woman who's inspired me as an actress growing up. So it's a really surreal experience being able to be growing as an actress whilst being on a show. It's an honor, honestly. And I think not only is it going to help me with future things, but it's really just opening my eyes to how much more I can do as an actress and how much more room I have to grow. And it gets me excited that I can be better and inspired, really.
Mm-hmm. And you, Rebbi, making that transition from dancing and acting?
Yeah, I never saw this for myself. So it's been a very new, exciting, and it's scary experience. But I think that's good because, you don't grow when you're comfortable, right? So I think the idea of this scaring me, like terrifying me so much, meant that I knew I would grow from it. And not just on a professional level, but on a personal one, because it's really not something that I thought I was brave enough to do. So I'm overcoming like my own kind of, fears and I guess like insecurities. And this has just like really been a learning curve, like a huge learning curve. And it's really nice when you surprise yourself, like, oh, wow, I didn't know I had this in me, but I do, and it's nice to learn something new. I think, life is all about learning, experiencing, doing things out of your comfort zone. And, you know, I'd been in that position before, but the older you get, I think it's the harder it is to take those risks. So to do this now, especially when I think as a dancer, I've pretty much done everything that I could have ever dreamed of. So to have a new dream is really exciting for me.
Keep it going. Let's talk again. Season 4. Let's make it happen. It's good talking to you, ladies.
Thank you
so much.